Hello, and thank you to Misericordia University for inviting me to be a part of your art exhibit today. I'm extremely proud to have this university in my district and working on the EVAC project, otherwise known as the Experiencing Veterans and Artist Collaboration Project. EVAC's project is much needed as it bridges the gap between civilians and veterans by educating the public about life in the military, something that's very important to me. Art tells a story in a unique way. Pieces most often have a very clear and concise message. However, the stories behind them can be up for interpretation. This is not the case with this particular project. The EVAC project is special in that it uses veteran stories to create art. I applaud Misericordia for this very creative avenue for our veterans and for your students. The arts help so many people. It is how some people cope with grief. It is how some express themselves, and to some, it's a hobby to fill some spare time. But to all, art is very important. To the veterans whose stories are being told through art, it is the outlet of their sacrifices. These are stories that are so important for us to hear that we can understand even a fraction of what these men and women have given up for us. On that note, I would like to send and take a moment to support the families who may have loved ones fighting for our country, to let them know how much they are appreciated. Whether they are bravely serving overseas or defending our home front, they are constantly in our hearts and in our minds. They are doing good work, helping to ensure democracy and a better place for so many thousands of people. I would once again like to thank Misericordia University for sponsoring the EVAC project and shedding light on our heroes. All too often we say thank you to our veterans, but we don't understand they deserve so much more for all that they've done and continue to do for us. The creative community is helping to bring their triumphs, their failures, and their heroic stories to light for all of us to understand. Thank you, Misericordia University.
Greetings. As president of Misericordia University, I welcome you to the Pauly Friedman Art Gallery and to an installation from the EVAC project, Experiencing Veterans and Artist Collaboration. I am delighted that we're able to host this artistic rendering of veterans' stories from the past 8 decades. Our veterans have a very special place in my heart because my father served in World War II. In his 20s, before he was married, Emil Seeplek was based on a submarine in the Philippines, working as an electrician on Navy ships. I still treasure this commendation from President Truman, thanking him for answering the call of his country and extending the heartfelt thanks of a grateful nation. As well, I treasure this letter from General Omar Bradley, acknowledging his part in bringing to a conclusion a war that resulted in the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers. Although my dad didn't talk much about his war experiences, his patriotism certainly overflowed to the next generation. I can still remember as a child hanging our family's big American flag on the front porch of our Chicago bungalow for Memorial Day and 4th of July celebrations, singing "You're a Grand Old Flag" along with my sisters and brother. My siblings and I are the keepers of his Navy uniform, which you can see hanging here, and his Navy ID tags, which serve to remind each of us, as his letter from the Secretary of the Navy states, the nation which you served at a time of crisis will remember you with gratitude. The EVAC project works to bridge the often precarious gap between military and civilian life. You might wonder, as I did, what is this gap? And why is it precarious? Upon reflection, I realized that in my father's era, no family was untouched by the horrors of war. Everyone knew someone who had served in World War II. Every community could name the names of the young people it had lost. Today, military service is one more chasm dividing Americans. For some families, the military is a way of life. Over generations, they endure the anxiety of multiple deployments, sustain injury and trauma, and live in dread of that knock on the door saying that the loved one is not coming home. For other families, military service is a noble idea experienced only in the movies or on the evening news. This creates a significant gap in understanding, and it's precarious because it allows the real needs of our fellow citizens to fall through the cracks. As I hope you know, here at Misericordia, we are deeply committed to welcoming and supporting veterans and members of the armed services, as well as their spouses and dependents. Not only because we want to do right by those who have made great sacrifices for our country, but because we value the unique experience that veterans and their families bring to the academic environment and to the circle of mercy. As a university, we have both the opportunity and the responsibility to highlight veterans' issues through our policies and programs. I am very grateful to Dr. Little and the staff of the Friedman Gallery for bringing this exhibit to our campus. As you browse the gallery, whether in person or online, I invite you to immerse your mind, your heart, and imagination in the experiences of the veterans whose stories are so powerfully displayed here. To all veterans and families of veterans, I say thank you for your service, and God bless.